What's poppin' T Squad? It is Vlogmas Day 8. I am starting 8 days late, but you guys know that I was busy with my movie premiere last week, but I am officially doing Vlogmas. I will be pumping out videos every day. Not going to tell you exactly what I'll be reviewing. I want it to be a surprise for you guys. As today's review, I know you're shocked that I'm doing a Real Housewives of Orange County review, but yes, bitches, we are doing it. So we are on Real Housewives of Orange County season 16 episode 2, and these ladies started with a bang. This season we have Shannon returning, Emily returning, and Gina returning. We also have 3 newcomers by the name of Nicole, Noella, and Jennifer, aka Jen, and also OG Heather Dubrow is back. Good to see Mrs. Fancy Pants back. I have watched every season of OC. I watch all of the Housewives shows. There's not a franchise that I don't watch. I watch all of them. Nicole, we don't really know too much about her yet. Jen is a doctor. She does like Botox and all of that type of stuff. Noella is a stay-at-home wife, beautiful, mixed woman. So it's good to see a sister on the show. Notice she had her tail far bag on tonight. Very tall. She kind of gives me Whoville in the face, but she's very statuesque and very pretty, and I like her style. Noella made sure she let us know, as well as Heather Dubrow on last week's episode, that she and her husband have a sex dungeon in their home. And I was like, well, bitch, you would have fit in perfectly over in Atlanta with Candy in them. So, we also found out on last week's episode that newcomer Nicole actually sued Terry Dubrow, Heather Dubrow's husband, 16 years ago for a botched boob job. And Heather does not know this, even though they've been friends for six fucking years. Like, how do you keep something like that to yourself for 6 years that just never comes up in conversation? Like, that's weirdo type behavior. So we pick up exactly where we left off on last week's episode, with Heather having this Grand Dame sushi party. I think it was catered by Nobu. I mean, baby, I would have been in there slithering and eating all of the goddamn fresh seafood. So Jennifer, Jen, does not relate to Noella at all because she doesn't work. She was like, maybe we relate because we both breathe oxygen, but other than that, I don't think we have too much in common. And I was like, well, she might have a lot in common with your stay-at-home husband. So now that Gina has met Nicole, she doesn't really quite believe that Shannon is telling the truth about her being the girl that sued Terry, because she's looking at her. She don't have these big Pamela Anderson boobs like Shannon described. So she's like really iffy on this. Gina and Heather hit it off because, you know, they're both from New York. So she just feels bad being in this lady's house, kikiing and grinning all up in her face, knowing this secret. So she pulls Heather to the side to give her the tea. Would I have done the same thing if I was a housewife? I would have told her. I just wouldn't have told her right then and there. I would have at least waited until the event was over and told her, or got with her the next day and told her, because I don't roll like that neither. I'm not no fake individual, and having something that significant going on that affected her family and for nobody to tell her, that's fake. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have felt comfortable either. So Emily, Shannon, Nicole, and Jen sit, and they, you know, everybody's pretty much mingling. Everybody's waiting to eat. They, you know, doing apps and all of that stuff. So Emily flat out asked Shannon, you know, did you tell Heather? And Shannon was like, stop. You said you wouldn't, because Shannon asked Emily and Gina not to say anything, to keep it to themselves, because she said she slipped up and told them while they were having drinks and she got drunk. Girl, Shannon, you've been on this show too long. You didn't slip up. You knew exactly what you was doing, rubberneck. So Shannon immediately was like, I need to go over and talk to Heather, because Emily tells her that Gina's over there telling her what's going on right now. So of course Shannon is mad. She goes rushing over there to explain her side of the story, and Heather does not want to hear it. Heather is like, you know what? Y'all hoes got me fucked up. I ain't been back on this motherfucker for 24 hours and y'all already coming for me and showing y'all black asses. Y'all got me fucked up. So Heather walks the fuck away. Noella in her confession was like, this is not how you speak to your elders, talking about when Shannon and Emily, or when Shannon and Gina were going back and forth. And I'm like, Noella, girl, shut up. Ain't no elder shit when we on a fucking reality show. Girl, we all women. Girl, shut up. I like it, Noella, but shut up. Noella gives me very much dingy, you know, very dingy, very surface level vibes. But I like her for some reason. So Shannon then tries to find Heather and go talk to her, and Heather was like, show's over, I quit, it's a wrap. Terry, I done quit already. Heather was like, y'all got me fucked up. So Nicole was like, to Gina asked her, you know, was it you? Did you sue? And Nicole was like, you know, I made a big mistake. I was a young model and my attorneys forced me into a lawsuit against Terry. And me and Heather have never discussed it. I would feel some type of way if you've been around me for 6 years and have known me and haven't told me that you sued my husband. That's weird. That makes me feel like you're an opportunist, like you got something up your sleeve. That would just really put me on pause. So Shannon now is pissed at Gina for telling Heather. Emily was like to Nicole, I feel like if you were going to be her friend, you should have cleared the air with her. I agree, Emily. I agree. So Nicole was like, you know, I accept that. I accept that. And Emily was like, well, why didn't you? And Nicole was like, you know, Heather and I will figure that out. You know, if I needed your opinion, I would ask. Baby, she flipped that script so motherfucking fast and checked the fuck out of Emily. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Emily was not ready nor prepared for the checkization. So Emily was like, you know, don't get in my face. I have been your friend the whole night. What does that even mean? Yeah, I've been your friend the whole night. Nicole was like, I've known you for 20 minutes, girl. Sit down. You are a 20 minutes girl. I don't even know what that means. You're a 20 minutes girl. But when she said sit down, so Emily was like, I am sitting down. And so Gina was like, I mean, literally. That shit was so fucking funny because she kept on telling that lady to sit down. Sit down. And they were all sitting down like, what? Like she was messing up and didn't even realize she was messing up. She thought she was doing something. It was so stupid. So Nicole was like, sit down, sit down. You are stupid. Go eat your sushi, bitch. Bitch, you ain't gotta tell me twice. I sure would have went to go eat my sushi. So Emily was like, you just sat there talking about how uneducated you are. Then you're gonna call me stupid? Fuck you. So Heather's daughter, Max, mind you, is at the bar watching all of this shit go down, baby. And I would have been just like Max. So Nicole was like, sit down. Sit down. So Emily was like, you're fucking trash. You have no education. You've never had a job. So fuck you. Emily walks away pissed off. And she was like, no, Gina, you come with me. You come with me. You walk off with me. Girl, it was so fucking funny. She was like, how do I get out of this mausoleum you call a house? Baby, I hollered. So Nicole says to Jen, that was so rude what she said to me. And Jennifer was like, what part? Shade. Nicole was like, trash. What was she's like, what I would do if I was her is go on a fucking diet and shut my fucking mouth. And Jill was looking at her like, girl, you just fat shamed her on camera. Like, ooh, they gonna get you. But fuck all that, bitch. Be arguing. I don't give a fuck. I call you fat, skinny, whatever. So, Noella is over there talking to Shannon. Shannon is being Shannon, nervous and shit. And Noella was like, you know, this is the time to go. Like, I think we need to exit stage left. Shannon is like, no, I'm just going to stay here because she's steady trying to explain herself to Heather. Noella was like, you know, I'm going to stay here with you. And they playing this old sad, sweet music. Baby, that lady said, I'm going to stay here with you. Oh my God, are you Max? Hi, Max. I'm bisexual too. And she runs over there to Heather's daughter, Max. Baby, and left Shannon in the dust. That I'm gonna stay here with you and hold your hand shit went out the door, honey. Like, she is so fickle and so funny to me. I was cracking up. So Jennifer gets Emily and Gina to come back inside. All the ladies are like in like this little kitchen area, and Emily says to Shannon, you know, the real villain here is Nicole. I didn't believe you at first, but she is the one that sued Terry. So Heather and Terry, they come down looking for Nicole. Nicole is sitting off by herself, and Terry was like, are you Nicole? Whatever her last name is, you sued me. And the girl just sitting there like, oh God, here we go with this shit. So Terry was like, how long have you and Heather been friends? And she was like, 6 years. Girl, once again, that don't sit well in my spirit. She was like, I didn't say anything because I didn't think you did anything wrong. It was just a big misunderstanding. These lawyers tried to get me to sue you. I dropped the case. He was like, I know I didn't do anything wrong. I know I didn't. You dropped it. That's great. So Nicole is crying and saying how the girls made her feel bad and this, that, and the third. But I feel like Nicole should have took responsibility in the fact that you've been friends with Heather for 6 years and never brought this up. That's weird behavior. And Emily should have just minded her own business instead of questioning her to such a extent. She didn't have nothing to do with it, and now you and this girl into it. So Heather asked to speak to Gina and Shannon off to the side. So they all go outside. Emily is trying to apologize. She's like, I am so sorry for raising my voice in your home. I'm just so sorry. And Heather was like, I don't care about that. You're shit talking my husband in my home. And Gina was like, no, it's not even like that. No. And Heather was like, people say, don't shoot the messenger. Here's what I'm going to tell you, Gina. Shoot the fucking messenger. I was like, yes, Heather. Now, back in the day, I didn't really go up for Heather. Especially when Heather was friends with Tamara. Could not stand her. I might stand her now because she's had time away before. Like close to the end, Heather was really on some snake shit and was getting on my nerves. So she was like, you only know because you told her. I honestly think it's shitty that you did this. You shouldn't have said anything. Now, she says this to Shannon. And Shannon was like, Heather. And Heather just walked off, baby. She didn't even give her a chance to talk. She don't want to hear shit Shannon got to say. She already know Shannon for her works. Been there, done that. Girl, bye. So Shannon was like, I never wanted to hurt her. Hurt you. So, I'm sorry. Shannon goes and finds Heather, and she was like, I never wanted to hurt you. And Heather was like, I thought you and I had a chance to honestly be friends, and I am disappointed. And Shannon says, I'm a very loyal and trustworthy friend. And Heather says, you could have gave me a heads up, which she could have, which lets you know that Shannon was on some bullshit. And Shannon was like, pointing your finger in my face all the time. And Heather was like, I know you didn't. I know you ain't bringing up me pointing your finger in my face when you just tried to blow up my world. Let's just be done. Good night. And she walked off again and left her standing there looking stupid. And at that point, Shannon had given up and just decided to leave. And all of that food, all of that good, fresh, expensive ass sushi went to waste. They didn't even get to the main course. Baby, I would have still been there eating because y'all got me fucked up. Y'all think I'm just going to throw all this food away. Child, please. I hope they gave it to the homeless or the staff ate it, something. So the next day, Noelle and Shannon talk on FaceTime, and Shannon thanks her for being there for her. So they've sparked up this little friendship. We'll see how long that lasts. Shannon in her confession was like, I'm being portrayed as someone who tried to hurt with intent, and I'm not going to accept that. Well, bitch, you need to accept it because you told Emily and Gina and planted that seed so that she could come out via them because you weren't going to say anything and you was going to try to make them look bad. And then on top of that, on last week's episode, we found out via Emily that you called Emily, asking Emily to dig up dirt on Nicole. So what were you trying to do if you weren't trying to be messy? Like, what was the point of all that? Like, she was like, calling them, talking about it. Girl, you knew what you was trying to do and your ass, it backfired. So, Terry and Heather sit outside on their veranda or whatever, balcony, and they talk. And he was like, what would possess Shannon to like do that? And she was like, the only thing I can come up with is Shannon wanted to hurt us. Terry says maybe she's harboring something from the past. Because remember back in the day when Heather was on the show, Shannon and Heather didn't get along. So, maybe Shannon still do feel some type of way about that. And I feel like Shannon also does not like the fact that Heather came back on the show because she was now the head honcho, the queen bee. And now with Heather back on the show, Heather will now be like the queen bee of the show. So we also find out that Heather spent $36,000 on that goddamn sushi party. Like I said, everybody would have still been eating that goddamn sushi. Ain't no way in hell I would have got rid of that shit. The motherfuckers would have went home with dog bags. The camera crew would have went home food. I would have gave it to the homeless. Or fuck that. We all would have ate, period. The party ain't stopping. Everybody come on here and eat this goddamn food. Y'all gonna eat this shit. I don't give a fuck if we gonna sit here and eat in silence. You gonna eat it. Got me fucked up. So Jen and her husband Ryan have lunch with a tiny little dog or whatever, very LA and very California. And you know, like I said, he is stay-at-home father. She works and she tries to talk to him about her job, and instead of listening to her, he is totally into the Brussels sprouts, really not paying her any attention. And right off the bat, I see trouble in paradise here. Their marriage just don't seem like it's gonna work out to me. It seems like he's very, like I said, aloof, flighty. I don't know where his brain is. I think she's going to get tired of him being a stay-at-home father, even though that was the decision that they made. I don't know. It's something off about this relationship. They bring up the fact that the kids want her to be home more, and she's struggling with that because she wants to be present, but she's the breadwinner at home. She's the one that works every day. And, you know, being a working mom is a very precarious situation to be put in, you know. So I understood her plight in that instance. So Emily and Shane, her husband, have date night. Remember, he used to be an ultimate asshole to her, but they're in a good place now. They discuss religion because when he had COVID, you know, he really thought he was going to die. It was that bad. And she doesn't really have a religious background, but he does. Their daughter, who is beautiful, by the way, wants to be baptized. And Emily, wants that for her children to have that base because she didn't grow up having that base. And she's, you know, really starting to question, you know, faith and stuff like that. So maybe that's going to be a part of her storyline this season. So Gina and Emily meet up with Heather for lunch. And Gina says in her confessional that she is intimidated by Miss Heather. And Heather could be a very intimidating person. I can get that. So when Heather gets there, Gina quickly apologizes again, child. And Emily was like, you know, I told Shannon she needs to take accountability because she is your friend. We're just meeting you. Heather was like, you were put in a difficult situation, but there's a time and a place for that kind of conversation. And I agree. I agree with Emily and I agree with Heather. So Gina tells her about what happened with her, and that was the reason why she told her, because Emily found out, Gina found out her husband was cheating on her because she went to a barbecue with him, and come to find out the barbecue they were at was at the woman's house that he was cheating on her with, and everybody at the party knew, and she didn't find out until she went home, and she just felt like a complete idiot and was humiliated. So it just didn't sit right to be in this girl's face, and everybody didn't know something except for her. And I understood that as well, and so did Heather. And she was like, you know, thank you so much for sharing that with me. And she was like, you know, I should have reacted differently, but I love my family. Like, she do not play about Terry and them kids. So Heather was like, what was Shannon's goal? And Emily was like, do you think her goal was to make you and Terry look bad? Heather was like, I think that success breeds contempt. And I was like, girl, that is a word right there. So she was like, she also said when she came back in my home to further argue with me that she told Gina and Emily not to say anything. I trusted them. I said, well, that's a lie too, because she told me the two of you were not to be trusted, that you were manipulative. And they like, I know you lying. Like, this bitch really said all that about us. So that further proves that she was trying to set Emily and Gina up to have beef with Heather, and for her to be play in the background like she ain't got nothing to do with this, but literally she's being puppet master. So Emily was like, same old Shannon, same old motherfucking Shannon, ain't shit changed about her. And the episode went off. Very, very interesting episode of OC. Loving the shakeup, loving the new cast members, loving having, you know, fashionable young girls on here. Loving having Heather back. I'm feeling her for right now. Hopefully she don't get on all that pompous shit she used to be on, and that snake shit she used to be on that really got on my nerves. I just love to see the opulence though with her lifestyle and these other ladies. Loving that they have a mixed race woman on here, a black woman on here who's gonna have, Noella's gonna have issues in her marriage, and I think by the time the season is over, her husband gonna get a divorce child. So yeah, we got a lot of juiciness going on this season. I'm really excited about it. This was Vlogmas Day 8 for me. I will be back tomorrow and every day this month with videos for you guys. I got some vlog footage that I got to post. The video for my premiere party. I'm interviewing the gentleman this month from Love and Marriage Huntsville, as well as doing a slew of reviews on some of your favorite shows. So get ready. I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Let me know what you thought of tonight's episode down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Love you guys. Bye.